Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube. I'm your host, Mr. Prime Real Estate, Ric Davis.
And I'm your host, the Texas Real Estate King, LarryWBrooks.
Every week, the King and I will provide you exclusive access to our network of lenders, investors, and real estate professionals from both the commercial and residential real estate sectors.
Now, are you millionaire minded? Or maybe you're a millionaire in the making. Make sure that you subscribe so you can get connected to the network. And always remember, the Prime Real Estate Network, where millionaires are in the making.
Create wealth for generations.
Are you ready to engage in some powerful real estate fun? Because tickets are officially on sale for the HAR Engage Conference.
This year's conference promises an enlightening experience as industry leaders and experts unite to share their insights on the real estate industry, technology, and many other topics.
Whether you're just getting started in real estate in your real estate journey, or if you're a seasoned pro, HAR Engage has something for everyone. Plus, with countless networking opportunities, you connect with tons of like-minded real estate professionals.
So don't wait. Grab your tickets now before they sell out. Head over to har.com/engage to secure your spot at the hottest real estate event of the year. We can't wait to see you there.
What's up, Prime Real Estate Network listeners? It's your man, LarryWBrooks, a.k.a. the Texas Real Estate King. Hey, when you get a moment, go ahead and go over to shoplwb.com. You can see the Pure Hustle merchandise that we had over there, some of our newer items that we have in stock, and of course, I got all the books that I've authored. I'd love for your support. You have a great day.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network Live. I'm your host, Ric Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Ric. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the commercial or residential sector, you can reach out to me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Ric. As always, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you this week, and we're really excited about today's show. I want to give a huge shout out to everybody that's checking us out live on YouTube and Facebook, man. Get involved in today's show. Leave myself or the Texas Real Estate King a relevant real estate question in the comments section. And you never know, we may very well be able to get to your question on today's show. Man, like I mentioned earlier, man, we have a really exciting show planned for you all, but I want to take some time to introduce my co-host. He is not only a highly successful real estate broker, he's a multi-time author, serial entrepreneur, and the proud proprietor of the Pure Hustle clothing brand. I want to thank him so much for sitting in with us this week on the Prime Real Estate Network Live. And I'd like to introduce to the audience, the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. LarryWBrooks. How are you?
What up, Rick? What up, beautiful people on the Prime Real Estate Network? As we get going, y'all most definitely make sure y'all like, subscribe. It helps with the algorithm. It helps get the word out to other people. It helps to just develop the community, right? So you want to most definitely take some time, leave us a comment. Let us know how you thought about let us know what you thought about the show today. Let us know if you know someone that you think would be an excellent guest on the show. You know, plug them in with us. We want to know what's going on out there, people.
Hey, man, look, it's good to have you with us, man. Thank you so much for sitting in with us.
Yeah.
Hey, it's good to see you streaming live from the Brooks and Davis Education and Training Center at 2600 South Loop West, Suite 310 here in Houston, Texas, man. Hey, what's been going on in the world of the Texas Real Estate King, and what's been going on in the world of Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm?
Man, listen, just super excited about some of the big things that's taking place. You know, the Engage conference is we got the tickets available. We got some special offers that's out there. So for those of you that are licensees, you're a licensed realtor, you're out there helping people that are looking to buy, sell, and invest in real estate. Listen, this is the largest one-day conference that takes place. You want to be a part. It's over 500 agents that's usually in the building. And the thing about it is it sells out every year. So I'm on here is exclusive. We're giving you the exclusive opportunity to get involved early. You have a lot of discount codes that are out there for you. So make sure you go to har.com/engage. go ahead and get your ticket. If you're someone that's following the show and you want to be a sponsor, this is an ideal situation. Get you in front of people that are going to come by your booth, come and relate to you. We're going to put you on the website and things of that matter. And if you go on there, we have several different packages, but if the package is not ideal, we will customize a package for you. So if you're a sponsor that's looking to be involved or spend some time with some people in the real estate professional that is knocking it out the ballpark, you definitely want to plug into it. You know, it's one thing about Engage, man. It is super tech savvy. So we're getting frontline information on what's coming down line when it comes to being tech savvy, when it comes to being a licensee, as well as plugging into everything that's been taking place with being a licensee, being able to get in front of Bob Hill, our leader, and just really get on the forefront of why it is that the Houston Association of Realtors and Texas Realtors are always at the top of the food chain when it comes to this industry. So plug in, people, plug in.
No,
Other than that, over at Brooks and Davis, you know, we're preparing, and I'm sorry, because you did ask me about that. I plug in over at Brooks and Davis. We're currently excited and preparing for our annual home buyer summit. So if you're someone that's looking to get into purchasing a home, or you're looking to be a sponsor at the home buyer summit, we ask for you to reach out to us. I'll give you our office number, which is 713-665-8329. So we want you to take a look at that. Give us a call. The lovely Shay will pick up and be able to assist you if you want to be a sponsor at the event. But if you're a home buyer, you're looking to get involved, you're looking to get more knowledge, maybe get your credit looked at, maybe see what your buying power is by getting pre-approved. We'll have all those people in the building. Those of you that are looking to be in the investment space, we're going to have a seminar talking about how you get into investing and things like that. So definitely reach out to us, but give us a call, RSVP, allow us to email you some more information. So give us a call, 713-665-8329. Let them know that you heard about it through the Prime Real Estate Network, so we can make notes of where these beautiful energy and beautiful people are coming from, so that we know when we can keep it plugged in when it comes to our marketing and continue to grow. So share the word, pass the word. That's what's going on, man.
No, and as far as the Home Buyer Summit, man, I want to piggyback what you just mentioned. This is something that we do annually here at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. It's one of the largest, not only educational events, but also networking and getting out into the community events that we sponsor every year. So if you were one of those families that stopped by the Home Buyer Summit last year, and that was your first exposure, and this is the year where you're actually ready to buy and move forward, come out. Reintroduce yourself. If we've been contacting you, you've been getting the emails, getting the text messages, but just haven't found a time that makes the most sense for your schedule to stop by and visit with us again. That Home Buyer Summit is coming around again. So I want to invite everyone in the audience to take advantage of that opportunity. You know, Larry, today's episode is one of those special episodes, man, because we get to tap in with not only old friend of ours, but also someone who we seen develop in the business and entrepreneurial space. But then also those who watch the show on a regular basis know that we are all proud alumnus of Stephen F. Austin State University in Nashville, Texas. And the fine gentleman that's sitting in with us today is also an alumnus of that fine university. So for our audience who may not necessarily already know who this week's guest is, could you share a little bit about our background with this week's guest and how you were able to get them to commit to sitting in with us on today's show?
Yeah, man. I originally met this week's guest back in 1999. Man, we were I had the honor and the pleasure of first meeting this gentleman when it came to being on the gridiron on the football field. You know what I'm saying? So we spent our first journey on the football field, and then of course we go into the summertime, or not summertime, go into I guess the winter or whatever it is when track season takes place, and we actually ran track together. Well, I ran and he high jumped, but he was amazing at what it is that he did. So it's just an honor and a pleasure, man, to have a legend, a Stephen F. Austin dual sport legend on the show today. I'm excited about that, man. It was very few of us around, man, but we were legendary, run track, play football, run track. You know what I'm saying? We just built different and kept our education up, man. So, shout out to having my guy on the show today, man. We're going to really dive deep. We're going to talk about how his entrepreneurship journey, man, and just what he's got going, man. So I'm excited just to have him on the show, man.
Oh, no, I am excited as well. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce this week's guest. This fine gentleman, as Larry mentioned, is a proud alumnus of Stephen F. Austin State University. He's also an athletic legend there in Nacogdoches, Texas. He is the owner and founder of First Class Notary Services. I want to thank him so much for sitting in with us this week on Prime Real Estate Network Live. And I'd like to introduce Mr. Paul Todd Jr. How are you?
Go Jacks, go Jacks.
Hey, man, let's go. Represent. What's going on, Paul, man? It's great to see you, brother, man. I was really excited when Larry and I were able to get you to commit to sitting in with us, man. This is an interview that's a long time coming. So for those in our audience that are being introduced to you for the first time, Paul, or for all those lumberjacks and lady jacks that haven't had a chance to tap in with you in a minute, take some time to introduce yourself, introduce your company, and talk a little bit about some of the services that you provide here in the business community of Houston.
Absolutely. So thank you guys for the opportunity, man. I've been wanting to get on here for a while, so I'm glad I finally had the opportunity. So thank you to you and your staff, guys. Again, Paul Todd. I'm a full-time notary and signing service agency here in the Katy, Houston area. So I support pretty much all of Houston as well as nationwide, because I do have a team of notaries all over the U.S. So for those escrow officers on the call, for those real estate agents on the call, even if you have clients that are out of town that need those notarizations, we have a team nationwide that we can service pretty much any area where your clients are located. Just quick background on me: born and raised in Marshall, Texas. Went to Stephen F. Austin with the guys on the call with you right now, and started my professional career in insurance, believe it or not, with AIG. And I kind of fell into this notary business. Believe it or not, it wasn't something that I was looking for. It just found me. And I fell in love with it pretty quickly. And I was doing it on the side like a lot of entrepreneurs. You know, you just something, make a little extra money on the side. And it did that. But it turned into something a whole lot greater than I ever thought or even imagined. So as we go through the interview, I plan to kind of dive in and just kind of share as much information as I can, be an open book, and grill me. I'll give you everything I can give you today.
No, I appreciate it, Paul. A lot of times, especially with notaries of the public and people who serve in your profession, a lot of times it's for a lot of our customers, our buyers and sellers, they may not necessarily understand how often they would be in need of someone with your professional background. So for the members of our audience that are learning a lot more about notary services and haven't had someone of your expertise to even just speak to that point, could you just talk about some of the ways that real estate agents and other lenders and or title companies have reached out to you, and what are some of the scenarios that you've helped them work out as far as getting business done and completed?
Absolutely. So, you know, the biggest thing is a lot of those mobile situations where maybe the client's out of town, or the situation where maybe they just aren't mobile. Maybe they're in a wheelchair, things like that. And to get to a title office, which is typically where most of these transactions take place, that may not be the ideal situation for your client. So we have a mobile solution where we actually go to your client. We'll take the documents, get everything notarized, and you'd be surprised at how many will call you back for other transactions, especially things like power of attorneys. Because as you know, sometimes you may have a guy that's in the military and his wife is here in the States, but both need to sign because they're both on the deed, right? So getting those power of attorneys knocked out, and sometimes we do them remotely because we can do an online notarization just as much as we can have a physical person meet you mobily out of state and get those power of attorneys signed. That way, the spouse that's going to be at the closing can actually sign all the documents on the other spouse's behalf. So we try to make that process as seamless as possible and to keep for lack of better words, the process moving smoothly, because something like that could, you know, delay your closing maybe 2-3 weeks, which means, hey, now the real estate agent doesn't get paid for 2 or 3 weeks, right? We can solve some of those problems for you by being mobile. And you'll also notice that most of the team that I work with, when I say we're fully mobile, we have high-speed scanners in our vehicles. We have laser printers, dual trays in the back of our trucks. Right. So when we go out, even if, you know, there are situations where maybe the escrow officer, maybe the CD and the settlement statement didn't get balanced correctly. So there's another document that needs to get signed. Well, guess what? They can shoot that form to me. I can print it from my truck, go right back in the house, sign it, and we're out, right? So no delays in getting funding, because that's the biggest thing. Paperwork gets delayed, funding gets delayed. And then that's one day later that the client may get their home, or worst case scenario, you can miss a rate lock, and that could cost your client some money.
And that's so deep. And I appreciate you for sharing, Paul, because a lot of times these scenarios, until you're actually a seasoned agent and you've had an opportunity to deal with different circumstances with different families that have differing needs, then you'll see the spectrum of all the different ways in which a mobile notary service like yours could be invaluable. But one of the things that Larry has spoken about on the pod in previous weeks is how the MLS in the different markets in Texas between Houston, San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, they've been doing a great job of integrating each other and allowing Texas real estate licensees to conduct business in all the major markets in and around Texas. And that's where I think your services could help to not only help agents build business, but also be able to scale and ultimately provide the best service possible for their clients. So from that standpoint, could you talk about some of the markets and areas in the state of Texas where you have had an opportunity to work and where you and your company feel comfortable?
Yeah, so a lot of the expertise that I have is especially the Houston market. Mankaty, where I live, is just concrete being poured left and right. You got Fulshire and Brookshire, all of those areas going out west. You even have a lot of areas in Tomball, as well as Hockley, Texas. A lot of concrete being poured out those directions. And that's particularly the side of town that I work in. I have other notaries that are in like the Missouri City area that can kind of work that in Most City, everything southeast. And then I have notaries up in the Kingwood, Humble area that kind of work that northeast as well. And then I'll kind of work down to southwest when I need to. But there's just so much opportunity, even in, San Antonio. I remember you saying that just a second ago. It's just a lot of properties being built. The rates are starting to trickle down a little bit. So, refinances are happening. There are a lot of investor deals that are happening right now as far as buying those. I think you use the terms 4 doors, 2 doors. It's all about doors on your side. So I get that too. But all of those transactions, a mobile notary can help to, push that process forward, keep there from being any snags in the process. And then we know the documents. Believe it or not, as a notary, we're not supposed to explain, any of the documents. We're supposed to be that neutral third party. But understand, the team that I've built and the team that works with me, we're not uneducated notaries. I'm also a licensed loan officer. So when it comes to documents, if your client has some questions and I can point it out in the paperwork, you better believe I'm doing it. I'm not going to slow down the process. I'm going to show them and give them all the answers that they require. If I can't get it from the paperwork, usually it's just a simple phone call to an escrow officer or maybe the lender if there's a loan involved, and they'll typically answer those questions for your client. But the one thing I want everybody, any realtor on this call to get from what we do is we make sure that we push the process forward. Our job is not to derail your transaction, right? We're here to be your partner. We're going to help it move forward in any way possible. And if I have to get out of line every once in a while and kind of break down a few of the fees and things like that, I can do that. And my team is well versed in doing so as well, because we know how to read through the paperwork, that CD, which is the most critical piece of the paperwork, especially when there's a loan involved. If it's a cash deal, there's no CD, it's just a settlement statement and a few documents, and we're off and running.
The great thing about it, and I want to thank you so much for being so candid about not only your background, but your business evolution. The thing I'm most curious about is when you said how you almost fell into the notary side of the business and that you previously worked in insurance. So what is it about notary services, working in that part of the business and interacting with title companies and lenders and realtors? What about that part of the business do you feel like you gravitate towards?
If I'm being transparent, I could take the realtors, I could take the escrow office, I could take everybody out of the equation and just only focus on the client. Think about this. As a notary, I'm usually the last person that client sees, and they're doing one of a few things. They're either buying a house, which is usually their dream house, so they love me because I'm helping them get it. They're selling their house, and they're probably going to get a lump sum of money, so they love me, and they're ready to get paid. They're maybe doing a refi. Maybe they're just trying to get a lower interest rate. So they're just happy about the fact that they're going to lower their monthly payments in most cases. or it may be a cash out refi. And that could just simply be they're doing some remodeling to their home, whatever it is that they're trying to increase the value of their property. But at the end of the day, that feeling that you get when you're right there in front of that client and you're helping them to accomplish the dream that they're trying to accomplish, you can take everything else out the equation. There's no other feeling like that. I mean, when you enjoy what you do, like I do, this doesn't even feel like work. This is like, I'm just going to help people, just run around town, make people happy, and we just have a good time doing it. Because anybody that's been in the closing with me, they will tell you they've never been in the closing like that until they've been in the closing with Paul Todd, because that's just how I roll. We're going to have fun. We're going to laugh. And when you leave, the expectation is go tell somebody that, man, he did an awesome job, because that's how I get my businesses, those referrals, those people bragging on me. If I could kind of sideswipe for just a second, one of the biggest things that my dad ever told me is if you can get others to brag about you, you won't have to brag about yourself.
That point. It's funny, Todd. Not only that, man, like just looking at the energy that you when you're expressing how it goes on in the title company. Because here's the thing, there's a lot of people that probably listen to the call that have never even experienced what that room is like. They haven't experienced the feeling of making their largest purchase in front of someone. And you get the opportunity, and your team get the opportunity to sit into a room several times throughout the month, a week, and just really, you're participating in the largest purchase individuals typically make in their life, when it comes to their car, their house. Now, every now and then you'll have business owners out there, and our expenses or something that we purchase may be a little bit more, but you're at the ground level of one of the biggest wealth exchanges that some people are going to have when it comes to their lifestyle, man. So, that's why I can see that joy and the happiness and the energy that comes from just being a part of that.
Oh, yeah. Those first-time home buyers, they are the best, let me tell you, because they're so nervous when they walk in. Even the realtors, a lot of time, the realtor walks in and they don't know what to expect because maybe this is their first transaction. It's like, look, sit back, relax, enjoy this ride because I got you. We can have some fun. Yeah. And by the time we're done, the question marks or the nerves and all that good stuff about buying that first home, because you're right. I mean, they just bought a bunch of debt. Let's face it. You just took on $300,000 and you got to make this monthly payment for 30 years. I'm gonna make you feel good about it. That's what I do. I'm gonna make you feel good about what you just did.
That's what's up, man.
No, Paul, you mentioned a little bit about growing up in Marshall, a little bit about some of the advice your father gave you. When you think back to your upbringing as a young man, were there any members of your family that owned businesses? Were there entrepreneurs in and around your close inner circle that you, when you reflect back on your upbringing, may have served as an example or a catalyst for what you've become in the business evolution that you've been able to enjoy?
Absolutely. My grandmother, as well as my uncle, they were both in the insurance business, which I kind of feel like that's how you got into it. The original part of my career. And, A.L. Williams is what it started out, but, it's Primerica now. Yeah. So both of them sold for A.L. Williams and Primerica when they transitioned over. And I got a chance to kind of see what they were doing. And I still really didn't understand it. But, just hearing their experiences and what they went through. And, the biggest challenge for them was just standing in front of enough people, right? It was all about, you start at zero January 1st. You got to go to get more customers. That was the goal every year, is that you start over. And I ended up at AIG as a wholesaler. And that business was a little bit easier because I didn't have to go out and do a whole lot of hunting and fishing. I still had to fish a little bit, but just not to the extent of being a full-time, 100% commission agent on the street. That's a man's game. That's a man's game. And I wasn't ready for that. And then the notary business, when it came to me as an opportunity, which is funny, a cousin of mine told me about this business. Didn't even do the business. She's telling me about it. I'm thinking she's fit to do it. She didn't do it. But anyway, long story short, I fell in love with it because, I got a chance to do what I like to do best, which is be in front of people, meet new people. You'd be surprised at a lot of these transactions, they'll tell you what they do for a living, how they, built up the assets and things like they built up, how they did it. And there's a lot of stories I could tell you about these people, but that's because I'm vested into it. I enjoy it. This is what I do. I listen to the customer, and it's not just another transaction to me. It's not just, oh, let me hurry up and get through this closing so I can get to the next one. No, I want to know who you are, what you're about, what it is that you're trying to accomplish, because you never know. I have other resources outside of just the notary business, and I may be able to plug them into something that all it is just one phone call could change maybe something in their business or whatever that they're doing to help them. So, the idea of being able to just help people through these transactions as well, outside of just that immediate transaction, is another thing that, just really makes it fun and enjoyable.
Yeah. Todd, I was wondering, man, just deviating from subject just a little bit. How was it being such a phenomenal athlete that you were? How was it, coming into the real world, after college and things like that, and just kind of like, you spend majority of your life being active and playing a sport to not. How was that transition for you? What was it? Do you remember the thought process? Not that it was good, bad. I really just don't know. I asked that question because I'm just kind of curious on, how other former athletes really just kind of deal with, getting into the real world.
Man, I can give you a couple of words for that. So let's back up. I'm going to transition from sports right into this, and it'll make sense. So Larry, as you know, I was actually a quarterback in high school. Okay. When I came to college, they moved me to a wide receiver. And I wasn't very good at it, but I was good enough to at least keep my scholarship. But in my opinion, I just wasn't that good, right? But I was good enough to play.
Yeah.
And one of the things I had to learn was patience, because guess what? I go from a starting position as a quarterback in high school. I'm that guy, right? I'm the one that's touching the ball every play to, hey, I may get in the game the last 2 minutes of the game now, So it taught me patience. And then you got to be consistent, right? In practice now, I got to work even harder because I'm trying to catch up to be a receiver that I've never done any of my life. And I'm trying to catch up to these guys that's been doing it all their lives. So now I have to be even more consistent about what I'm doing, how I practice, how I do things. And then the follow-up.
Yeah.
What I did in practice, man, I had to make sure it showed up on the field as well, because if it didn't, coach would put me on the sideline and say, hey, you go sit over there for a little while till you get your act together. But that holds true in business. Let's transition into business right now. I mean, even if you're an entrepreneur on this call, let's face it, things don't happen right away.
Yeah.
Unless you just miraculously get lucky, which some people do get lucky. But for most of us, you start a new business, it takes patience, because you may not even see a profit for the first year. Yeah. So you got to be patient. But the thing about it is you also have to be consistent too. Whatever your marketing strategy is, you can't deviate from it because it didn't work the first 2 weeks. Sometimes it takes longer. So you got to definitely be consistent about that. And then when you get those leads of those people that say, hey, I'm interested, but they may not be interested to buy today. Yeah. You got to be able to follow up, whether that's following up 2 weeks from now, whether that's 2 months from now or 6 months from now. You got to have things in place so that you can make sure that when the time is right, that you're front of mind and that you can be there to take advantage of that opportunity once it does present itself. So if I had to break it down, I just say patience, consistency, and follow up. Those are the 3 keys, in my opinion, to entrepreneurship.
Yeah, agreed, definitely agreed.
Oh no, man, that was great advice, man. I appreciate you for sharing. So I want to make sure everyone in our audience can contact you, can hire you guys for your notary service. So Paul, please share your website, contact info with our audience so that they can plug in and stay in contact with First Class Notary Services.
Absolutely. So I don't hide behind anything, so you can call me direct. Now, I may not answer my phone every single time, but that's usually because I'm in closings. But if you leave a voicemail or send me a text, you will get a call back. And that number is 936-552-9621. Again, that number is 936-552-9621. If you're one of those people that like the soft introduction, you can email me. That's fine as well. My email address is Paul, Paul, last name Todd, Todd, and that's at First Class Notary Services. And that services is plural. First is just one ST. So firstclassnotaryservices.com. That's how you reach me.
Yeah, also, Paul, man, I was thinking, we do these shows quite often. We've done them for over the last 5 years. And what I found is that sometimes it's one question that we just don't know to ask. And so I want to ask you, is there anything that we're leaving on the table, something that you may think the people need to know that we didn't get a chance to ask you that question of?
All right.
I think the biggest thing for the realtors on the call, because I know that's who the audience is. So let me speak to you for just a second. If you're not getting the service that you think you should be getting, that doesn't necessarily mean that notary is not a good notary, right? Because you guys are the ones at the table. You're right there with the notary as they're filling out the paperwork, going through the closing. Yeah. But if you feel like you're not getting the service that you're supposed to get, let us know. Yeah. Because some of those notaries, you know, we can bring them into the fold and train them as well. I mean, a lot of what we do, believe it or not, notaries don't really get trained on how to do a loan signing. They don't. You know, you can become a notary tomorrow just by filling out a form, paying some money online, texasnotary.com. You pay $100 and you're a notary tomorrow, but you don't know anything, right? The notaries that I work with, we're trained. A lot of us are loan officers, and the ones that aren't, you know, I train them personally. So it doesn't necessarily mean you need to change the notary that you're working with, but if you're not pleased with the service that you're getting, you know, let us know. However we can help. We'd rather partner with them than you having to switch, right? Sometimes the partnership can be all that's necessary to get them from here to the next level, right? And that's all you want. You just want to increase that customer experience. You want your customer to have the best experience at closing, and that way it makes you look good, because obviously you want more referrals, right? Yeah. That's what you want. What real estate agent wants to run around town trying to find new customers when they can just be handed to you by another client saying, hey, man, I work with Rick, and he's got this notary that cold-blooded, the escrow office, the title office, everything was just top-notch. You want to work with them, don't go to that's what you want. You want these people talking about you so you can get those referrals. So hopefully that speaks to you in my own way. And then if you're a notary out there and you're wanting to get into this business and you're just not sure how to get started, because I know there's been a lot of notaries that have tried it. Yeah. There's a lot of professionals on this call right now. I guarantee you that have thought about being a notary, and it became a thought and then it just went away. This is a lucrative business. I'm not going to get on here and talk about the money, but this is a very lucrative business. So if you are struggling and you're not making the money that you wanted to make, call me. This is a 6-figure business every single year without question. Yeah. So if you're not making that and you're looking for a change, I don't charge anything. We do whatever we can to help you. We'll give you all the skill set, all the tools, whatever you need. Just give us a call. We'll take care of you.
It's definitely, because that was leading into where I was going, because I you know, they always talk about 6 streams or 8 streams of income, and a lot of times people feel like there got to be something extremely different than what it is that they do. And I'm like, if you're a licensee or you're someone that wants to be what they consider a serial entrepreneur, and you want several different opportunities, and you're already in an entrepreneur space, I think that is ideal. You know, if you're a licensed realtor, you know, when you got time or space in between, get taught up. Let's go to Paul, get taught up in understanding the industry, and join his team, be a part of what he has going on, and then that gives you an opportunity to get another stream. So when you're not closing a deal, or you're not doing your follow-up calls, or you're new to the business and you don't have an extensive list of clients yet, then this is an opportunity for you to still stay relevant, still stay in the entrepreneur space, so you still got time to focus on your business. But in addition to that, you know, go out and strengthen and build on another platform too that you might find a niche in. So I definitely applaud you for that, Paul, and thank you so much for just sharing that and being an open resource for the people that are out there that are looking for more opportunities, more things that they can be doing.
Absolutely.
And you know, Paul, I got you before we have you sign off this week, man, because I'd hear about this as soon as I get offline. If I didn't definitely give a shout out to you being the first SFA track dog that Larry and I have had on the show. See, I appreciate you for talking a little bit about your career in football, but I promise you, there's gonna be mad people who check out this show. They're gonna be like, oh man, I think about Paul as a track dog, high jump, moving around throughout Texas with all the boys on the track bus. So I got to make sure let you know that we all proud of everything that you're doing. Big, huge shout out, Paul. Appreciate you for sitting in with Larry and myself. And in the future, if there's anything that, as far as a message, as far as an event that you would like Larry and myself to share with the audience, please, you always have a seat with us on the show.
For sure.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Hey, man, have a good one, man. We'll talk to you soon, Paul. God bless, bro.
God bless.
No doubt about it. And there it is, man. We got it in. Hey, look, Larry, see, you almost let Paul get off the show, because I'd have definitely heard about that one on the later talk about, man, you had PT on there and didn't even give no track dog shout out. So big, huge shout out to Mr.
I know,
Todd
man.
Jr. for sitting in with us, man. That was good to see him, man.
It was, man. It's always great, man. You know, and it's funny because I didn't think about it, but yeah, when he got on the show, when I'm thinking about our relationship and like how long we've known each other, I'm like, wow, we both was dual athletes. You know what I'm saying? Football was paying the bills, but we had such a passion for track and we were talented in that space. And we just shared that skill set in both areas, man. So, you know, shout out, man. That was definitely dope, man, having my man on. And I love entrepreneurs that are able to make the transition and then relate those transitions. So he was able to relate how, you know, being patient was something that poured into his business and his ownership of his business currently. And of course, that deep passion and ability to want to provide something for someone else and teach other people, man. That's something that's a skill set as an athlete that you develop for many, many years. And it's just an easy transition for you to be passionate, to want to help and pour into other people. So shout out to PT, man.
No, absolutely. And I do want to urge everyone in the audience to take Paul up on his offer. If you're interested in getting to the notary space, want to learn more about formal education, how to be formally licensed, reach out to Mr. Paul Todd Jr., man. If you need contact info, reach out to Larry and myself, DM us, hit us on the email. We'll make sure we forward that contact.
Well, we'll have the notes and stuff in the show too. So we'll have his notes, his information in the show notes. So we'll definitely get y'all to have access to that.
Absolutely, man. What's going on this weekend with you, brother? What's going on in the world of the Texas Real Estate King? Anything you feel like sharing with the audience?
Hey, man, we got Shadow Creek, Manville versus Shadow Creek tomorrow. You know how that is, man. This is football season for me, so I'm plugged in with that.
High school football, man. Big, huge shout out, man, to all the football moms, football dads, all the players, coaches, the athletic trainers, and the members of the band. Yeah. Because everybody putting in mad work in the fall in Texas when it's football season. So big, huge shout out to everybody, man. I want to thank everybody in the audience for tuning in this week. Once again, I would like to thank Mr. Paul Todd Jr. for sitting in with Larry and myself. If you need anything in the meantime, in between time, you can reach out to Larry and myself on Instagram. We only text, email, direct message away. Until next Thursday, when we start Prime Real Estate Network Live, please, everyone in the audience, be safe and be blessed.
Be blessed.